So, what if the real secret to happiness isn't about getting everything you want? What if it's about choosing how you feel no matter what's going on? Today, we're going to dig into a really simple story that gives us a powerful 3 step method for finding joy, even when life is, well, not so perfect. It all kicks off with this very question. See, there was this young man in a village who noticed an old woman who was just always happy. It didn't matter what happened, she had this calm joy about her. And he was so frustrated with his own life, he finally went up to her and asked, "Seriously, how do you do it?" And her answer? Well, that's what this explainer is all about. Right away, her answer was not what he was expecting. It wasn't some secret about money or good luck. It was about a total flip in how you look at things. This idea that real happiness isn't something you find out there in the world, but something you build brick by brick inside your own mind. And this right here is the absolute heart of her wisdom. It's not about waiting for a life with no problems, because let's be real, that life doesn't exist. It's about realizing that happiness isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you actively create every single moment, from the inside out. This chart breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you've got the external view. That's where you're basically a passenger on life's roller coaster. Your mood goes up and down with every twist and turn. But the internal view, that puts you in the driver's seat. It says your happiness doesn't depend on your circumstances at all. It depends on your perspective. So you might be sitting there thinking, okay, so was she just born a super optimistic person? Not even close. This wasn't some philosophy she just read in a book. It was a survival strategy she learned the hard way, forged in the fire of some really deep, profound loss. And honestly, that's what makes her advice so powerful and so real. Her story starts out pretty normal. She had a husband she loved and kids she adored. Yeah, they were poor, but their home was absolutely rich with love and laughter. Their happiness wasn't about what they owned, it was all about what they shared together. And then the unthinkable happened. Her husband got incredibly sick, and they just didn't have the money for the medicine that could have saved him. He passed away, and her whole world just fell apart. The grief was one thing, but it was mixed with this awful feeling of being completely powerless. This was it, her absolute rock bottom. A moment of complete and utter despair where she truly believed that happiness was just gone from her life forever. And it's a feeling a lot of us can unfortunately understand. That deep belief that the sadness is just never going to end. But right there, in the middle of all that sorrow, something clicked. She looked at her children and it hit her like a ton of bricks. Being sad wasn't going to bring her husband back. And her kids, they needed their mom. That was the turning point. She knew, right then and there, that she had to choose a different path. For them. So when the young man asked her how she did it, she didn't just give him some vague feel-good advice. Nope. She gave him a recipe, a real practical method built on 3 simple choices that she taught herself to make every single day. And here it is, her 3-part practice. First, you have to intentionally find the good, even if it's just the sun shining. This literally starts to rewire your brain to scan for positives. Step 2 is all about gratitude, shifting your focus from what's gone to what's still there. And finally, step 3 is perspective, reminding yourself that even the darkest storms don't last forever. It's that deep belief that this too shall pass. So this simple method, it completely changed her life. But the story doesn't stop with her, because when that young man started actually trying her advice, something incredible started to happen. The idea caught on, creating this amazing ripple effect that spread through the entire community. The young man put her daily practice to work, and sure enough, his life started to change. He found joy in little things and became way more resilient when times got tough. But here's the cool part. He didn't keep it a secret. He shared her story, and like a spark, the idea just spread from one person to another until the whole village was transformed into this more hopeful, connected, and happier place. And that all brings us to the single biggest takeaway from this whole thing. Happiness isn't some random thing that happens to you. It is a choice you make. In every single moment, you get to decide, are you going to focus on the storm clouds, or are you going to look for that little sliver of sunlight trying to break through? It's not about your circumstances. It's all about your focus. So this simple story really leaves us with a direct and very personal challenge. It's not just a nice idea, it's an invitation to act. The power to completely change how you experience your own life is already in your hands. So the only real question left is the one right here on the screen. What good will you choose to see today?